Hey, we are live. Good evening,
Exciting
everybody.
times.
What an exciting day to be back here, Amber. Debriefing
Indeed.
about our day yesterday. I
I
am just
agree with you.
in real time. I'm going to post our link on groups so that people can join us. So while I do that, why don't you welcome the ladies?
Well, welcome everybody. I really hope that this we post-mortem or debrief, I should rather call it. Because post-mortems to me, Laurel, always sounds like somebody has died. And we know for a fact nobody did. If anything, this is the
Right.
birth of something brand new for us. So once again, yesterday was, well, firstly, it was Women's Day, South African, and it was truly a day for deep reflection for me. And I actually mentioned this in one of my posts, where when we truly think about what Women's Day means for every South African woman, um, it's got such deep meaning. You strike a woman, you strike a rock, but it doesn't mean that we can't break, we cannot crack. It's really
Yeah.
about making sure that we choose how we rebuild all those pieces that, for whatever the reason may have been, has found itself broken. So, well, maybe not broken even. Let's call it fractured. Is that better?
I like that. I like that more than broken.
Yes, indeed. All right. So yeah, for me, yesterday was an interesting time. It was the first one. You know what excites me a lot, Laurel, was how many people were so happy for us. How many people were looking forward to seeing what we have started doing? This is no longer an attempt. I stopped saying to people, this is what we're attempting to do, this we're trying to do. We are doing it. There's no more attempts that we're making on a daily basis. It's now intentional. And we are doing it. So that for me is really, truly what is inspiring me on a daily basis. So yesterday's gremlins. Shall we start looking at what exactly happened yesterday? And we can start
What?
with my gremlins.
I called it the USA Gremlins yesterday. I honestly felt like it was as if the USA was saying, "We don't want to give Amber to you today to
Not
celebrate
quite.
Women's Day." But it was
Somebody
quite
asked me
early.
actually.
It was quite early though for you in the morning. What time was it?
Well, I mean, it depends on what quite early means. I think that's got a very different meaning for many people. It was 8 a.m. when we started. But because we are actually streaming from a studio, it was a very unfamiliar place for me. I went to bed
It
very
was.
late. And hold on quickly, let me see. We still have lives here, right? I'm still a mom, still a wife, and I still have a house to run. And I just want to make sure my dog's okay over here. So, yes, so it was 8 a.m., but because it was just such a brand new platform, it's not like you're just quickly popping into a Zoom meeting or an MS Teams meeting or what other are they? Google Meet.
Zooming
I think it's the other one. It's not
in.
just about plugging there. And I've got you to thank, to think further than that. Because even though this was, I think the only person that was familiar with it was you from the five in the background.
I've used it before. I've
Hmm.
actually used it in 2021 with our live Women's Day that we did. So yeah, how many years back was that? A couple of years back, but it was quite. I had to navigate, find my way around the site again. So it was quite a learning curve this time around with new features available on StreamYard because that's the
Mm-hmm.
tool that I'm using here. But very user friendly, I'm gonna say.
Oh,
Very
I'm
user
glad.
friendly. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Can we chat about the pre-planning phase before the 9th of August actually hit yesterday? Like,
Yes.
what an interesting time you and I had having to
Man,
connect. every single, for me, it was in the evening after
Me, it
my
was during
nine
the
to
day.
five. We literally met. We had an online meeting every single night for more than a week. I think it was more than a
100%.
week. Yeah.
100%.
So a lot of prep went into hosting yesterday and getting us to a place of knowing what we were going to deliver yesterday, because it was our give back to all the ladies and we wanted to do it with excellence. We wanted to make sure
100%.
that they were really taking something home after spending time with us yesterday. And we put a lot of thought, a lot of work. We built our whole funnel system.
You know, we
Wow,
would appreciate that a lot. All the ITs in our families, both sides, mine and yours, like really close, would probably
definitely.
be able to, and I hope they're watching. I hope they can appreciate that all of this was brand new. And I have to give you the credits, Laurel, for actually really doing most of the heavy lifting when it comes to, writing that code. So because it's not things, I was completely unfamiliar with it. But I must say, once I got into it, it was like a bug that bit me. I couldn't let go. It was 2 in the morning. I'm still busy with something. I'm still busy trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to configure these emails? How do I automate them? I mean, it's things that, when you and I, maybe we can go back to, like, maybe we should go back 6 months because that's really when your and my journey started in this digital
Yes,
space, isn't it?
yes,
When I bought the Done For You system, which
yeah.
you actually trusted my vision for you and came on this journey alongside me because I was scared and we're from a small town, people gonna say and all that. At least you've been online before. That was new for me.
Little
But
bit.
having a done for you system is one thing because somebody else already built the stuff for you, right? All you need to
Hmm.
do is plug and play. And this was very different. And I want to think and I want to believe that we used the skills that we had, that we learned there to come and apply here, many of it. I certainly did. But it was about not giving up. For me, that was it, Laurel. It was how many times did you and I have to sit and say, okay, well, that link didn't quite work. It's like, okay, maybe we should see what went wrong. Okay, why is this email not automating somebody's name?
Yes,
What's wrong with this code here? Let me go and find out what happened. And you know what? Even though I'm not a programmer, I didn't study that. Okay? You can ask me about making babies in a lab. I can tell you that. Not about programming. But
yeah.
I can actually now show somebody who is a beginner like me how to do what we did. And that is
I
what I
know,
love.
eh, it's such a skill. Um, what is the word I'm looking for? Developing new skills from scratch, literally from scratch, because we've achieved and we've produced things in the last 2 weeks. I don't even think it's 2 weeks. I think it's a week and a half
Mm.
that we had no knowledge about prior to a week and a half ago. So
Nope.
it's just a testament for me that if you set your mind to do something and you are teachable and coachable, you can do it.
100%. You know what, Laurel? I love what you're saying because I mean, I've had a very long journey in my corporate career with postgraduate learners, right? And I was asked to do I sent it to you, it was about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minute talk for the company that actually did our learnerships,
Yeah.
which made my learners reach back out to me, many of them. And one of the things that one said to me, they'll never forget, is what I used to say is, nobody can pour into a full cup. I cannot pour into a full cup. If you are not teachable, if you're not coachable every single day for me to teach you how to do what I've done for a very long time, then
Hmm.
maybe you need to rethink, you know, your path within this particular team. because it's really hard. There's things that Laurel, and I think this is like really part and parcel of you on my journey now, because we work with so many other women, is that I can teach people a lot of things. Having a good
Mm-hmm.
attitude is not one of them. I
No,
cannot teach somebody how to have a good attitude. It's very difficult. It's a decision you make here. It's a decision you make here. It's a decision you decide to be coachable every day. You decide to be have a good attitude. You decide to have your cup filled. Nobody can teach
it's
you that. We can prompt you, but can't teach you.
in Afrikaans. They will say jy kan die perd na die water toe vat, maar ek kan hom nie maak drink nie.
And I thank you, says my dad.
So it's one of those things. And yesterday I touched on this on the yes, that life changing yes, because it's your yes and it's your heart yes. You just said it. It's you saying yes with your heart that is gonna push you into the next season. Being faithful. Nobody else will be able to do that for you. No one.
Not nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. But I'm proud of us. I am patting myself and you on the shoulder to say that anyone, if you set your mind to do something, you can do it. We've proven
Yeah.
it. The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is the real one.
Yeah.
Yep, it is. I want to quickly just touch on the gremlins we had to navigate yesterday.
Yes, we should.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday's, oh, what a stretch. What a stretch. It literally, yes, I've been on the platform before. I navigated StreamYard. I had a panel actually. The last time I did it, I had about 5 ladies on a panel. And I didn't have any help like what I had yesterday. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Nene was the champion running out our
She
whole
was.
backstage tech with
She was
not knowing
phenomenal.
another example of somebody not knowing anything about what she was asked to do yesterday. And in 2 days, she literally mastered everything.
She did. She
And
did.
she managed. And I'm so proud of her, not because she's my niece, but because of how she allowed her yes that she gave yesterday to grow.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it was
Yeah.
a huge yes to say yes to. I actually phoned them after we were done. I phoned her and Mbali,
Mm.
and I thanked them. And I said to them, my thank you is not coming from a place of not knowing what you had to carry today.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you had to carry. And that is why my thank you is not, it has substance. I'm really so grateful for what you ladies have done for us today. Amber and I would not have been able to do what we did without the support you gave us. So that was our community. Her, Mbali, Raywan was our community yesterday. They were our, yeah, we were standing on their shoulders yesterday and we shined because of them.
We did. We did. We certainly did. Yeah. Anyway, I just put a comment in our chat, Laurel, because when I think about even when you were in the US years ago, what your communication back home looked like. Think about that. It's not that long ago. When was it?
Tell you, 2011, 2011, 2012. It was 2 years.
It is long
Can I
ago.
tell
Okay.
you,
Did you do Skype?
I was about to say that was my main communication and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I started off with what is this? Oh my gosh, is it MySpace? Can't
Yes, I
believe that I
believe
was.
so. Mm-hmm.
It was MySpace and Facebook and Skype. So I did video calls through Skype and
Mm-hmm.
I did landline calls through Skype.
Wow.
I could do landline calls through Skype and video calls, and whoever I did a video call with obviously had to have a laptop. They
Of
didn't really
course.
do. Yeah, the
But
cell
not
phone
everybody
option.
did. Not
Yeah, the
everybody
cell
did.
phone option wasn't really didn't work so well. If it even was available, I can't recall. But I remember I could only do video calls with family members that had actual laptops.
And not everybody did.
No,
I
not
didn't,
everybody.
to be honest. I had a work laptop, but I never had my own.
Yes. But it was never something that we felt pulled to do. Like it wasn't a a tool, a device that we felt we needed for our own private lives. It was a work tool.
100%. It
It was a
certainly
work
was.
tool. Life has changed so much. Oh my gosh.
Has it ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So about those gremlins yesterday, I was speaking to somebody. I told you after our live, I
Yes, yes, you
went to
did.
another event, and over here in the US, we have an incredible lady. Her name's Lorna, and Lorna has the ability to just bring people together. You know, she's also South African slash Namibian, and
Yes.
everybody knows Lorna. Every yesterday we had so many stories from so many ladies, and we had all walks of life. We were about 16, but it was all walks of life there. And one of the things that they discussed was that quite a few of them dialed in to our live. And one said, you do know we couldn't hear you at the beginning. There was like something really wrong with your sound. Now, you know what? For me yesterday, I felt so frustrated because we practiced this. We were up late the night before. I mean, how could this happen on the day that you actually go live, right?
Two dry
And
runs.
then
Two dry runs.
we did two dry runs. But the thing was that, do you know how many people just give up because they're
Yeah.
scared of the embarrassment?
Hmm.
I knew that the people who really wanted to support our vision for women, but also the ones who probably didn't know us that well, but the ones where our messages, leading up to our event actually really resonated, will stay until we sort things out. And they did.
They
They did.
did. Everyone stayed. Everyone that was on the call when we started stayed until the very end,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which means I think there was a time when Rowan, because she championed with the chat, with the comment chat, and
it was.
Rowan was like backstage. She sent a message. The chat is so quiet. What should I do? And I remember you commented in the private chat to tell her that they are all engaged. That's why they're
Everybody's
listening.
listening. Everybody's listening.
Yes, they are
Yeah.
engaged in the chat listening, and that's why they don't have time to still go and type a comment right now because they're soaking up every single nugget of wisdom that was shared. And that was
Mm.
just so beautiful. Yeah.
Mm. You know, Laurel, I think we also forget that the women who dial in to webinars like ours are not always ones who actually have the luxury to sit down for 90 minutes.
Mm.
I spoke to many ladies about this, right? One told me that she finished a night shift and she dialed in, right? From her car on her way home, which means that she couldn't see us, but she was listening. You understand?
Mm.
So she would definitely not be able to comment at all. She commented afterwards. I sent you the messages. And you know, we had
Yes.
others who needed to, iron a load of washing, like I often do when I listen to a webinar. You pop in your earphones and you actually still soak up, you're still listening. Because you know what? I learned from my 6 months on social media thus far, and it's a scary time. Let's just start with that. It's like, um, I have to say, I spoke to you earlier about the fact that when you go on a live on TikTok, it's like going into a void some days. You don't know if people are actually gonna come listen to you. You know how I know people listened, right? Sometimes there's very few people because I can see them come in and out, right? You can see it.
Mhm.
When you have followers that you never saw into your room straight after that call, you know they may not have entered your room, but they stood at your door, your virtual door. They
Mhm.
stood there and they listened. They didn't eavesdrop, they didn't swipe away. Whatever you
Yeah.
said captured them. And I think this is the kind of thing that we have to know. Many of this was the first of so many that we're going to still do together.
Yeah.
And we have to know that doesn't some people are going to listen to our replays because our replay is going to live on forever on
It will.
YouTube
It's
after you post
evergreen.
it.
It's evergreen.
100%.
Definitely.
So if people couldn't make
Absolutely.
it on that day, they will come back. If it's a message that they truly believe resonated with them, they will come
Yes.
back. Yeah. But perhaps you and I can have a little chat also about our our own transitions and what it is we ultimately envision for this platform going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to use yesterday as a stepping stone to much greater things. But what is it we envision after yesterday, besides knowing that we need to sort our sound before?
Most definitely. You know, the heart is always to create a space for community and a community that has a place within that community for every single woman. Doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what background she comes from, what her life story is. y- We're all different. We all have different stories. And there's none of us that have exactly the same life story. We're all different. And this is simply just, Asha was online yesterday. Remember, I told you the lady that actually asked me to create this space,
Mm-hmm.
a woman in progress. And it's exactly that. It's creating a safe space where you can be vulnerable and real in not just times of being stretched by life, but also in times where you are on the top of the mountain in your life and you are in a place where you can now pour into someone else's life. So it's not just about receiving, but the community is about also giving and pouring back to
Hundred
our other sisters, because
100%.
we all have different seasons in life.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you are on the mountaintop in your season, and other seasons you are down in the valley, and you actually need someone to pour into your cup because your cup's empty. And when you're up on the mountaintop, your cup's full,
You can
and
point to
now
somebody else's.
you can pour into someone else's cup. And that is what, for me, ultimately, this online community, I pray and hope it will grow and evolve into. That more and more women will start to contribute within the community and feel that they have the permission and the freedom to contribute and not feel that they have to wait for permission, because each and every one of
Powerful.
us in the community has something valuable to give back.
This is interesting because I was just thinking about people asking for permission, and this is a very simple example. Very simple example of that. Oh dear, looks like Laurel disappeared for a second. I'll go on and tell my story. This is kind of what we do. Yesterday, my gremlins needed me to restart my computer. And what's great about people who work together well, guys, is that she could just step in so effortlessly and come and take over what I was supposed to do in a very carefully thought out agenda that I had for the live yesterday. Um, Having said, oh, you back? What happened?
I had to excuse myself. I had to quickly, it's we live, it's real time. I had to quickly blow my nose. So I apologize, everyone.
Oh, no problem. I thought that you had the same gremlin I did yesterday. Because this is partly what teamwork is about, right? Yesterday I struggled and when we it's when we look in I'll go back to the story I wanted to tell just now about permission. Please remind me. What I wanted to
Yeah.
say was sometimes we walk right. I didn't know that you were actually still in the room. I just didn't see you, right? Isn't that phenomenal? It's like our footprints that all of us had in our bedrooms at some point, hanging on our walls. You're not actually
Yep.
alone. I thought, for a minute, I thought, oh gosh, she
I
didn't
should
believe
have
me.
I should have informed you, but the urgency of the matter was very real. So I
It's
had
okay.
to, yeah.
That's fine. There's no problem with that. So what I wanted to say was, so when I spoke to more than one person, actually, it was quite a number of people that I spoke to, and one question that kept coming up was, I don't know if I can come on and contribute live on a big. And I was wondering whether this was also something that you and I, or I need to improve on in terms of my communication to people, is that you need to be clear, you know, that we won't call you out on a live like this. That's not what it's. In fact, I don't even think we have any voice activated for the room. This is streamed on YouTube. Laurel and I are streaming from a virtual studio, and nobody needed to come and contribute. You don't even have to put a comment if you really didn't want to. And I think that when you realize that number one, your face doesn't have to be shown. Number
Yeah.
two, all you need to do is show up and listen. And yesterday we had a lady on. Her name's Esty. Yesterday. In fact, I think I should have sent her this. She would have probably liked to join, but I didn't share with her. Um, Esty came on yesterday and she said something on my WhatsApp that was very profound. It was one little sentence. It's on my way down to Dover where I went. And she said, I'm so glad you convinced me. Now, I didn't think I did much convincing. I said, I'm so sorry you're sick, but you do know that all you need to do is listen. You can listen from your bed no matter where you are. But I really do. I still hope that you feel better soon. And she came. And she's so glad she
Mhm.
came. As she said, please, next time we do this, she would like to invite a few other people. So, in fact,
Mm.
the words were, I will share far and wide. So, I think that once again, people don't give themselves permission to come on. I mean, I've been in the last 6 months. I mean, luckily I did these things when I was still at work as well. But
Yeah.
you don't have to not do something because of a fear that you have for it. If I'm making sense. Some things you have to just kind of get into. Nobody's asking you to jump out of an aeroplane, right? I mean, yeah, I've got many thoughts about that because I'm afraid of heights. But I know the only way to overcome that is to actually jump out of a plane at some point, you know? So the bucket
Yeah.
list has been done. I'll do what your cousin did for 60th and actually went and jumped down, you know, a bridge. Luckily
I
with a
still
rope on her feet, but yeah,
still don't think I'll be able to do it. I said to her, "No, Woods, I don't think I'll be able to do it." But kudos to you for
she's my
giving it a go.
hero. She's
Very,
my
very
hero.
brave.
Yeah.
Um, you know what? Speaking about that, it just brings me back to your word, Isibindi. Speaking about
Courage.
courage, and
Courage to
even
start
what
again.
we, even what we are doing in our lives today, right here, this moment, it takes a lot of courage. People might be looking at us and they think, "Ugh, there's no confidence issues, there's no self-esteem issues, imposter syndrome." Name the list.
That is so
Name the
real.
list.
We don't give
It is
ourselves
you.
permission.
We don't give ourselves permission. And it is really you choosing to go against the grain of whatever the message outside is you're supposed to be,
Yep.
and or what you think someone is telling you you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So us doing what we did yesterday and what we do every day when we post a video, when we record a YouTube episode, when I record my podcasts, whatever we do, putting ourselves out there, it takes so much courage. It is us being vulnerable in the most rawest way possible, but it stretches you for the good.
True. I
Stretches you for
remember
the
coming
good.
online the first time, and so one of the things that we also don't give ourselves permission to do is to actually invest in ourselves, right? You actually don't. There's always it's always a reason not to do it. When we first
Yeah.
moved, my paperwork was not yet in place, so I could not actually work here. Um, but there was a matter of, oh my head, when is it actually gonna happen? And what am I gonna do until then? I mean, like I was like, I don't know. So I'm gonna be like scrubbing around the house and iron. It's actually what I did anyway. But what I decided to do was to scrape and see how I can do it. And I actually engaged in 3 different university courses, which were fantastic ones. But like with every course that you do, you need to actually do what you
Yeah.
you are taught, so that you don't, the curve of forgetfulness doesn't kind of like kick in, right? And when I started online, it must have been beginning of February. You were part of that whole thing. In fact, I think the way you actually was asking what's going on as you started seeing my status updates. And you came and asked me, okay, so you've been gone for a while. What's happening? What's happening? And I realized how much we concentrate on being perfect. And being perfect is not the same as having something done. It's not the same thing. When we
No.
overthink things, if you and I were waiting until we were perfectly ready for this, it might have been December before we did what we did yesterday. And this is actually where I'm coming back to is, you know, sometimes done is better than perfect. And
Mhm.
sometimes our videos are not fantastic. Our light is horrible. We're a little bit pixelated, like yesterday. But you still showed up and you did what you needed to do because your message landed.
Still showed up.
Your message landed.
When I made notes, Amber, our notes that we have about our takeaways after yesterday. One of them is preparation matters, but composure matters more.
100%. 100%.
And
How are you going to show up even when things are not going as you planned? Isn't it?
so it's about, like you said now, it's like you can prepare as much as you want, and
And you should. You should.
you should, please,
Hmm. You
everyone,
should.
ladies, you should never do something without doing the
A
preparation work.
fair amount of preparation, yeah.
Because I do believe this is my belief. If we weren't prepared, we wouldn't have been able to keep the composure, because there was substance that
Mm,
we could stand on
yeah.
and keep the composure. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could literally pick up the welcoming section from you because of the preparation period, that time we put in.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding what the other one's role is, and not working in isolation,
Yeah.
but knowing what we were both busy with and understanding it, so that when the popo hits the fan and you can't step in and do what is expected of you, your responsibility, you know, your teammate is will be able to swoop in and pick it up and carry on.
Phenomenal.
And That is such a valuable lesson that I'm taking away from yesterday, because we walked that walk yesterday of
Mm-hmm.
doing the prep work and being able to walk in a very challenging, it was challenging, people. It's not, when those moments, like,
We're
you
now
can literally,
speakers.
you can
We're now
hit a
speakers.
freeze. You can hit a freeze and just like nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen yesterday. That
No,
didn't happen
no,
yesterday.
it didn't. I have an interesting story about this. I like storytelling. So I was in a work interview few weeks ago, actually a couple of weeks ago, and one of the questions that I was asked was, if you had to give your AI agent a prompt, what would your ideal partner's characteristics be? Now listen here. I could have never
Wow.
prepared for that question because what the hell, who asked that, right? But that was a very important question because I actually thought back on a time when I was still working in pharma. And my colleague and I, we actually like really great friends as well through all the years. And one of the things that happened was we sold I should say marketed, because we didn't actually sell things, right? We were marketing a product that a doctor needed to decide on whether it would make the difference and be impactful in the rest of a patient's life, right? To make healing them. But he wouldn't have known about it otherwise because it was new. And we spoke about it, and it's a very complex product because the disease area there's only about 5,000 people in all South Africa that actually suffer with it. So we had this conversation, and my colleague, my friend, is phenomenal in terms of clinical explanations of clinical trials. Man, on point, detail oriented, and that's type A personality
Mm.
personified, right? And we spoke, and the doctor was not really very interested, and this is exactly how I was sitting. You see, you lost him already, right? And I stopped at someone. I said, "Look, can I ask him something?" I said, "Doctor, can I ask you something?" And he said to me, "Yes, Amber, what is it?" I said to him, "Do you know somebody with this condition?" He said, "Yes, my patient." I said, "No, not your patients. I'm asking whether you know somebody with this." And he looked up, put his pen down, and he listened. And I said to him, the typical age of this lady, because we have overwhelming amount of ladies having it, is in her mid-30s. So by then she's a young mum.
Yeah.
And this is what every single relapse will do to her. And you know this. But if we don't treat effectively at the start, we will not have this woman be at her son or daughter's wedding one day. He said to me, you can stop. The reason I'm telling that is not because I was impactful, because without the clinical knowledge that my friend gave, I would not have been able to tag onto and give the emotional side of how
Mm.
important it really was to stop giving your patient Panado when there's something that is really truly going to change their lives out there. You understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? That was what that journey was about. I'm not even working in that field right now. So anybody listening, please be, that's not what I do on a daily basis. Just a disclaimer. I was just telling the story. And the reason that story was told in that question in the interview was that that's the kind of partner I think that we need. We need when I have done as much as I could, L'Oreal comes in with what she knows, to be better. When L'Oreal has done as much as she could, and it's 2 in the morning in South Africa, but I still have stamina to go on because it's early evening for me. I take over and I say, go and sleep. When you wake up tomorrow morning, I hope I didn't disappoint you. Say, when you wake up tomorrow morning, the email funnel will be ready. That will be ready. And then tomorrow you had 500 WhatsApps from me when you woke up. Okay, I've done this, I've done that. Here's a tick lesson. This is how the email is going to work. Okay, if it doesn't work, tell me because I need to redo it. And I
Yeah.
think that, Laurel, if I could give my AI prompt, my AI agent a prompt, I'm going to put you in there every single time.
Oh wow, Amber.
Mhm.
I would probably do the same
Yeah.
because for the people that don't know, Amber have known me for in September this year. It'll be
All
45
your
years that
life.
she knows me.
All your life.
From the day that I was born and I gave my first breath, she's
Mhm.
known. Yet I have to say, we grew up as sisters. We grew up as sisters. I have to say, in the last couple of months, I've learned and come to know you as someone completely different, and it doesn't erase the other facets, like parts that I know of you because of who I come to know now. It's just this we have so many layers as people, as individuals, and we don't realize that we have come to know someone in that capacity, for instance, whether it's work, whether it's family, like how we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really now, did we ever think that we would get to know this part of each other? Because
No, I don't know.
usually this is what you'll get in a work environment. People in a workspace get to know this side of you, of what you bring to the table to keep the job, the machine going within that space. Because we are the same person at our core, but we step up and we show up in different ways in different spaces.
100%. And you're making me think deep now because when you asked that different ladies in our, in our current circle, I'll call it, make videos about not only why they said yes, that's one thing. But if you think about talking about um, why we do what we do every day and what is it that makes us a woman in progress. I had to just quickly think it through in my head quickly. Um, and when I made, I told you I took days to think about that video. I started recording it many times because because I have felt imposter syndrome on so many levels. Now let's start with the fact that I'm in a different country, and then I'll work that back. Then I work into, I'm coming into a brand that I, with so much of love in my heart, encourage you to, it's like, why didn't you start something new? You already have a brand. What's wrong with you? Come on, let's do this, right? And then I felt like your success, I was dealing with your success. I didn't think I was going to sit here with you.
Oh, Amber, it looks like the gremlins are back. Can you hear me?
Am I back? Cool. All right. There we go.
Wait,
Um,
wait, you're back. You're back. Can you go back and just say that again? I want people not to miss what you just shared.
okay. What did you last hear?
Okay, wait, did me now back like my I have to go back to where exactly
It's
you
okay. It's
stopped.
okay. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
was
I'll repeat.
no, I was
I'll
so
repeat.
focused on the
It's not a
gremlins.
problem. It's not a problem. Let's repeat because you know what? We'll always have gremlins. This is the thing. We're gonna do
You were
this 10
talking.
years from now and we're still gonna have a bloody gremlin. So let's not even concentrate on the gremlin because if you concentrate on the gremlin, we're never ever gonna do this again. And
To do
that's
it.
the
But I
beauty
know
of
where
what
you
we're doing.
stopped. I know where you
Pardon?
stopped. I
Okay,
know where
tell
you.
me.
I just had to get my thoughts
Okay,
in
what is it?
this. So you stopped when you were sharing about you said that I shouldn't start something new, and
Yes.
then yes,
Yes. So I was talking about imposter syndrome, right? And actually was just
yes,
I was just digressing a little bit because of the background. And for me it was this is something you'd already started, and you already started speaking again, and you, I mean, you were already doing the background work. The foundation was being laid all over again, right? And it actually brings me back to something I said about foundations. Remind me later. But I had to make a video on what makes me a woman in progress, and I had to really think that through. It was deep for me to think that through, because what is it you spoke about letting go and trusting others? That's a deep one, and you said it in public, so I'm gonna hold you to account to say no. Um, but I needed
Yeah.
to learn how to be unapologetic for the space that I take up. And whether it is coming into AWIP, whether it was in my boardrooms that I sat in, thank God that I had that opportunity to be that far in my career. But
Yeah.
when you walk in, especially as a woman, you sometimes feel that you're not being heard, you're not being seen,
Mhm.
that your opinion doesn't matter, that somehow your what you say is going to be so stupid. And for that reasons, we just don't. And I think
True.
this is part of the transitions that we are trying to, not trying to, that we will be helping women to get through. We're not going to teach, we don't have to teach anything. We simply have to guide. We have to coach, we have to guide, and we have to show what it is like, or make you, help you imagine, if you make this change now, where you going to be in 6 months' time.
Hmm.
Because I am no longer the girl who was awake at 3 in the morning trying to find some sort of answers in my ceiling. How am I going to do this? And do you know when automated responses from employers come through? Do you know when they come through? 3 in the morning.
Like it.
3 in the
I was
morning.
about to say.
You know for a fact there was not a human eye on that at 3 in the morning.
I was about to say at
But
midnight.
you don't know, when you don't know AI, when you are already 500 years behind. I didn't
Yeah.
know it. I didn't know it, which means that it knocked me down on so many levels every single other night at that hour, because I had nothing else to do and my family's asleep and it's dark and I just grab my phone. And what do I see? Oh, dear Amber, we regret to. Dear Amber, while we have, but I mean, it's phenomenal, the things that, the place that you put yourself into. And I was
Hmm.
doubting whether I actually, must I be apologetic about being here? Must I be apologetic about not having, my career that I so much love back the way I had it before? Or am I going to take what I have now while I am rebuilding that facet of my life and go at it with everything that I have? I have 8 kids that I tutor. Do you know what joy they bring into my life? Even when they
Hmm.
forget my class, they forget to show up some days. But they
Or
kids.
they jump on the bed.
Okay. There's a reason why we're here now, is because one of them forgot today. But it's a public holiday. How much am I gonna really hold the child responsible? They probably, they were away for the weekend and they forgot to let me know they're coming back. But um, you know, I have my digital marketing. I've got my family to see to. I'm still actually busy learning. I'm busy with the course. There's just so much. And with all of that in the mix, amongst thousands of people in this country, I'm also interviewing. Because when we give up, we've given up. did I ever tell you the story about when Zara's phone fell in the snow outside?
You did. You did.
Did I?
But
Can I tell it
you
again?
told you told me, you didn't tell everybody else.
Well, those who know me might know it. So this was January, um, and we just had, well, one or very two big snowstorms here,
Yeah, you had
and
a
it was
blizzard.
really bad. Remember, I still like sent you all of the
Yes.
pictures, and one specific one I mean, it was about halfway off my calf, right? It was like a lot of snow on the ground, and it was very soft snow. It was like fluffy, soft snow. It was beautiful.
Mm.
So we decided to go out because I promised my one friend, Michelle, that I will always make a snow angel. So here I am on my way out making a snow angel. And as I'm snow angeling, it's a verb. The dog comes and jumps on me. And Zara took a video of me because we're taking a video for Auntie Michelle, right? And her phone got lost somewhere. Now listen here. Even the dog's ball fell. It falls right through that snow because it's that soft. Now her phone
Yes.
is a bit heavy. At some point, she was so disheartened. She said to me, Mom, I'm just gonna have to. I mean, where are we gonna even in this yard? Are we gonna even find the phone? I said to her, you know what? There's no such thing as giving up. Because I
Mhm.
remember that I've promised myself that my child is never going to remember me one day as my mom gave up on anything. If she has to write my eulogy while I'm still alive, I would like her to speak about the fact that I don't know about giving up. And we found
Resilience.
the phone. We found the phone. I went to find the snow shovel and we made mountains, probably burying it more, but it's okay. We kept at it. We kept
Yeah.
at it until we had success. And I think that
Yes.
is a problem that so many people give up too soon. Too soon.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have grit, but you have to first know yourself to know where your grit is. Whether you even have the grit or it's something that you actually have to go on a self discovery to know the real depth of that part of you. My
Mm-hmm.
mother is a woman who doesn't give up. You must lose something in our house and tell mommy to find it. I'm telling you, she will find it. Have you guys ever had mosquitoes in your house? My mother will find the mosquito.
No wonder
So
she's best friends with my mom because they're very much the
2 in the
same.
morning, they'll find it. So it's
Mhm.
just things like those for me. Is whether it be a mosquito that you look for, or a phone in the snow. It's about having deersetting, oomph. Find the courage to keep
Perseverance,
going at it. Persevere, there's the word I need.
perseverance, yeah.
But all of that requires courage, Laurel. It
It
requires
does.
isibindi on a very, very big level.
It does. You know what, Amber, you mentioned something earlier on about being where you act, and I think, putting yourself out there for something that you know you do with excellence and so well, and not being seen.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you I can only imagine that it makes you feel like, what was that life that I had, even did it even happen? Like, did I imagine all of that? Was I even competent? Like, did I even carry that? And it made me that just took me back to not so long ago. I think it was about 2 years ago now. So weird. It's 2 years ago that I found myself in a space where I literally questioned my capability and competence of,
Mm-hmm.
of the job I did every day. It's, uh, not just a job that someone taught me, but an area of speciality that I was carrying for years.
Mm-hmm.
And someone stepped in my space, into my space, and made me question whether I even were capable and competent in the first place. I remember I stepped into the house. My dad was still alive. And I said to them, I walked up to the kitchen nook. My mom was in the kitchen. My dad was in the TV room doorway. I looked at them and I said, I don't think I can do the job I'm doing. And my mom asked me, wait, what? Where is this coming from? And I'm like, I don't think I'm competent to do the job I'm doing because I'm not uh the people that I feel should be echoing the fact that I'm doing a good job. They're not doing that now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it made me question what I carried and what I brought to the table. Really made me question. So yeah, it just made me think now. I literally had to get to a place of believing in myself and not what other people made me feel I was capable and competent of.
Mm, mm, mm,
So, and I can tell you now, it is the work that I had put in 17 years
mm,
of self discovery. You just touched on it, self discovery, knowing who I am, knowing what I carry. And a lot of times, people like what my mom and dad had to do at that evening.
mm,
Sometimes people in our community have to come and remind us
mm-hmm.
of something that we already know because
100%.
we just forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Life life happened.
Sure did. Mm-hmm.
So, Amber, we have been online for 55 minutes, almost 56.
While
I
I'm not
don't,
busy ironing. Anyways, you might find me ironing next time I do this.
and
um,
I think we can stay on here talking about how amazing Women's Day was yesterday and how the ladies literally walked away with something because that
big,
was
yeah.
the ultimate goal. The ultimate
Mm-hmm.
goal was that we wanted women to walk away with something, and they
Mm-hmm.
did. So we can talk about our stories, but we will be
Forever.
back forever. But we'll be back here with more lives where we will share more little bit of snippets of our
Mm,
own journey and the lessons learned, being teachable, being coachable, and how we are not just changing things in our lives, but we are transforming.
100%. I was actually just
Yeah.
busy looking here, and according to what we spoke about, our next plan is to be online in 7 weeks.
Yes. On the
Mm-hmm.
24th of September on
Mm-hmm.
Heritage,
Yeah, it's
which
a holiday.
is not just a holiday.
No, I mean, like it is a holiday, people hopefully are available to come and join us.
Yes. But they will
Mm-hmm.
also be coming online to celebrate who we as women, the heritage of who we as women are.
Mm-hmm.
And the added bonus, the cherry will be cook, is
Mm-hmm.
that it is my birthday. My birthday. What better reason to get online and celebrate our
100%.
as not just as our cultures and our communities, but who we as women are. And then
100%.
obviously my birthday, my 45th birthday.
Mm,
We are already starting the preparation and the planning for that. So yeah, we are excited. So ladies, save the date, 24th September 2026. We will share the details with you. We'll let you know where, how. It'll obviously be online. So yeah,
100%.
exciting times ahead.
Yeah. I see I need to change my destination next time. I've got my secondary account on here. So I need to, just like all things that we're going to learn, right? We're going to learn these things, right? I didn't
Yeah,
realize. But I left a
definitely.
comment that I think is a good one for us to chew on as we leave. And you spoke about the impact that somebody else had
Yeah.
who came to doubt what you've been working on for so long.
I'm
And
gonna
that is
quickly
really
leave
so
you.
much.
I'm gonna quickly let you be on screen alone. I am here. I haven't
Okay,
disappeared. No.
cool.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me know. Um, that people really do break much more easily than they build. And that's the truth. It's unfortunate. But I think it's about living through or leading through example. Because if we ourselves, don't do that to somebody else, then it's unlikely for them to always try to do it to us. So it's really about leading through example. But what I actually meant through that was, Laurel, is that building takes time.
Mm.
Breaking is within seconds very often. And I think that is something that you and I might want to think about having a session on exactly that at some point.
Because we both
People who've
have
had to
been
survive. Yeah.
bruising and
Mm-hmm.
fractured seasons in our lives.
100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll
We
see you
have to
soon.
sign off. It's been an hour. It's been great. It's been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to say good evening and good afternoon.
Afternoon
Am
in
I
my case. Yes.
right? Till
Mm-hmm.
next time, ladies and the gents that sneaked in. We
Indeed.
until next time, we
Peace out,
walk a
everybody.
road intentionally, not perfectly.
And unapologetically.
Yeah.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.